So for the companies and in the countries where they jump straight to mobile, do you think that the legacy systems inherent in the U.S., and I know we haven't gotten to the U.S. yet, but the legacy
coming back.
systems in the U.S. are actually slowing down growth because the traditional carriers and agencies are so embedded? I mean, certainly the regulations are embedded in that, but is the growth opportunity going to the mobile because they don't have that infrastructure to overcome, or because they don't have the insurance market like we have here, so all growth is sort of new growth for them?
Well, the insurance market is a Me Too kind of market. So until a leader says, I'm going to do this, everybody else will hold back. And mobility, or the mobile approach, actually will be innovative, and somebody's going to be left in the dust. Now, you mentioned Chubb having a network in LATAM. I'm a little surprised you aren't also playing with some of the major world brokers, because they're actually going to lead the charge, and the insurance companies are going to say, well, I better get on board with Willis or Aon or Marsh or whoever else is there making it happen, instead of they being the leader. Progressive is actually the innovator that most people look at and go, well, that's progressive, that's personalized. No, but the telematics with the plug-in and usage-based insurance was revolutionary then.
Just to make sure I understand, you were saying that brokers are the ones who are going to lead innovation in
Yes.
China?
Yes.
Okay, so I mean, just to say something. So one on what you mentioned. So I think a lot of the innovation that happened outside of the U.S., as you said, yes and no. I mean, obviously China is a market with 1.5 billion people, and then if you have, again, distribution like Alibaba behind you, you could make it Zhanggan, which is 14 billion in 4 years. I think there was another company, like Ant Financial, I think right now the latest round they raised was at over 150 billion valuation, which is more than Uber and Airbnb here, just because of the size of the market. I feel like that helps a lot, but the whole infrastructure is a whole different conversation to a certain extent. I feel like a lot of, sorry.
No.
At least the companies that I've seen in China that I feel like, they just blow up, a lot of them had like the backing of like a, big tech company behind them somehow. If you look at Ant Financial, which is a spin-off of Alibaba, if you look at Zhanggan, was that. And there's a lot of companies that are going to start. I don't know if the infrastructure is the right thing to say though, because when you look at the Chinese market especially, the insurance companies are two types. They're either very advanced, like Ping An. There was a quote from Swiss Re, I'm just going to quote it, which was, the whole world is trying to build sandboxes, China is a beach. Kind of. Like, there's a few players that are literally trying everything. But then if you look at the rest of the market, it's probably like US 100 years ago. That's the majority of the market. So yes and no. I mean, the infrastructure obviously is a very huge problem for that, and a lot of people are getting creative with models to be able to overcome it, like what Chris does with Brain is a good example of it. But I don't see necessarily that's the thing. On the broker side, we work with all the three biggest. We work with Willis. We just signed a global partnership. We're partnered now with Willis in every location. So here's a theory that I have on a little bit the relevant side. I feel like brokers, consultants, and reinsurers are going to go all head to head, because the whole model is becoming about consulting and providing service rather than providing service and consulting. So I see your point. It's an interesting point, but at the same time, I feel like it could happen, but it might not. Well, depending on the market, and depending on who's the strongest one in that market, and depending on how the carrier is set up. Like, some of the carriers are very isolated. Like, they literally, we've worked with carriers that their whole model is like, I don't want to be associated with anyone else, I know better than anyone else, and then screw everyone else,
Right,
like,
exactly. Well, the reason I bring up somebody like Willis, they're London-based.
Yeah.
And if you look at Lloyd's, up until about 20 years ago, they were still Quill Advisor. And they have done a quantum leap around the United States domestic insurance market because they've automated so much. And Willis is right there at the forefront. They're who's pushing us into LATAM. I wouldn't say we voluntarily went into to it, we're supporting them and
Yeah.
we're venturing there.
That makes sense.
Because they want it. And so I don't want them to look at any other solution. I'll provide it.
So let's try to have that and then take back. When we're talking about infrastructure, there are many different infrastructures. One of the things that you see today in Africa that they are using old flip phones and other things, but they use that for everything, from payments to everything else, because that's the infrastructure that exists over there. Compared to that, the fintech, our big, I don't know, brother in terms of InsurTech and fintech, in the US we are way behind. Things that in Africa you can do everything from your old cell phone, you know, the 2G or 1G, whatever, how many Gs that you want. We are very limited. So they did already there. They are ready for that type of model. Now, in the US, most of the, even if we have, I don't know, the most advanced iPhone or whatever comes next, when is WWDC? It's supposed to be now.
iPhone X?
No, WWDC, the Apple
Yes,
conference.
I think the iPhone XS just was released today.
Today.
Yeah,
It was
Yeah.
announced today.
The iPhone.
Yeah.
Great timing.
It has gold now.
This-
It's X but with gold.
Let's line up.
We-
Sorry.
No, no worries, man. It's like this. As you can see, first of all, we are recording. We can edit it out. Second, I think that this conversation we already, you finished it like at the first 5 minutes, so we're good. And and we are everything in the US to make the change. There is a cost, and it's very, very expensive from the legacy systems and the HR that let's call it the human capital that you need actually to invest in to make the change. And that's actually a great idea. So, InsurTech can go for it. The disruption will, what's his, the statement or the quote that we talked about earlier.
All insurance is going to be insurance. No, InsurTech is going to be insurance. That one?
No,
Or
no, all insurance will be insured.
InsurTech, which I don't know what that means, but it sounds very cool.
And
So we're gonna say, okay, so
Yeah.
I don't like
So
that.
what does it
Let's say
mean?
I have no idea. That's the whole point. That's what I talked about. It's like all insurance is gonna be InsurTech. When I think about that quote, it's like, what does it mean? Like, what is InsurTech? Let's start with that. Because like for me to be able to answer that, I need to start with what is InsurTech that all insurance is gonna be it. For me, InsurTech is just technology, right? It's like any technology that could be of interest to insurance
For
companies.
insurance, every technology that serves insurance companies
Or
and
disrupts it.
in the space.
Or
Okay.
disrupts it.
So that's
So all insurance is going to be the technology itself? No, it can't because it's insurance. So that's why it doesn't make any sense for me. It's like it's
Okay.
very like it can't be it and this.
So let's talk about the disruption. What is the disruption that we've seen and how do you facilitate it?
That's another term that I have a problem
Ah.
with. Disruption. What is disruption? Okay, let's talk about disruption.
You talk about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So disruption. What is disruption? Someone tell me what's disruption so we define it based on that. How do you guys define disruption? Because I live in a life that every day corporate comes in is like, show me something disruptive. Okay. Peer to peer. It's not disruptive, that's a mutual company. Okay.
Thank you. For it is nothing new. That
Yeah, it's a
peer-to-peer
peer-to-peer
insurance.
company. That's how Lloyd's of London started, right? It's like a bunch of people sitting together say, let's distribute the risk.
Exactly.
It's peer-to-peer. Okay, so what is disruption? A company that is going to use technology to better sell insurance? Okay, is that disruption or just called incremental innovation?
So
I
basically
don't
it's
know.
who moved my cheese. It's a book like 20
Yeah.
years ago.
Yeah.